The belief that the past was better is a recurring sentiment in many social groups and generations. Nostalgic memories of bygone times often lead people to believe that there was more simplicity, kindness, or happiness in earlier periods of their lives or in times before they were born. But was the past really better? Or are we just idealizing fragments of our experiences and collective history? This question leads us to a deep reflection on how memory, culture, and society shape our perception of earlier times. When we think that the past was better, we usually refer to a specific period that marked us positively. It could be childhood, youth, or even significant moments of our adult life, when we felt freer from responsibilities or more connected to our loved ones. It is common that, as we age, we look back with longing and affection, associating these moments with complete happiness, even though, in reality, not all of these moments were as perfect as we remember. This idealization of the past is rooted in our psyche and the way our memories work. The human brain has a natural tendency to smooth out the edges of negative experiences over time. Thus, when we recall a period of our life, we generally highlight the positive aspects and minimize the challenges and difficulties. This contributes to the formation of a narrative that the past was a happier and simpler time, even if, at the moment we were living those experiences, we did not perceive them that way. However, the notion that the past was better can also reflect dissatisfaction with the present. In many cases, this nostalgia arises when we face difficulties or uncertainties in the current moment, causing us to seek comfort in memories that seem more welcoming and peaceful. When the present is challenging, it is easy to idealize the past as a time when things made more sense or were easier to handle. This feeling that the past was better can then be a reflection of our own difficulty in dealing with the complexities and changes that modern life presents to us. Contemporary life is marked by a fast pace, an excess of information, and constant demands for productivity and efficiency. This creates a scenario of stress and anxiety for many people, who may then feel that the past, with its simpler and less saturated routines, was indeed a more pleasant period. However, it is important to remember that each era has its own challenges. Past generations faced their own problems, wars, economic crises, social inequalities, and a series of technological and sanitary difficulties that today seem distant but shape the daily lives of many people. Another factor that contributes to the idea that the past was better is the way historical narratives are constructed. Often, the history that is told to us or that we remember is only a partial version of events, a narrative that may omit or minimize the difficulties and injustices of that period. In many societies, the past is romanticized to create a sense of national identity or to justify certain traditions and values. This can give rise to the belief that we lived in a golden age, a time when things were more just or harmonious, when, in fact, many problems were present but are not as widely discussed or remembered. Collective nostalgia also plays an important role in this view. As society progresses and older generations look back, it is common for them to feel that the values of their youth were more solid, that human interactions were more authentic, and that there was more respect and courtesy. This can indeed reflect some changes in social patterns over time, but it can also be an idealization of how these generations experienced the world. The sense of belonging and the strong sense of community, often associated with the past, are, in part, products of the social circumstances of earlier times, which were more restricted and less individualistic. However, it is necessary to recognize that, for many people, the past was not actually better. Marginalized groups, such as women, racial minorities, and LGBTQ plus communities, faced much more intense struggles for equality, rights, and recognition in previous decades. What some may remember as a time of stability and security, for others was a period of oppression and exclusion. The idea that the past was better often ignores these layers of injustice that existed and still persist in many forms. On the other hand, when reflecting on this nostalgia for the past, it is also important to ask, what exactly are we losing or missing in the present? The feeling that the past was better can be an invitation to critically examine our relationship with the current time. In an era of global connectivity and impressive technological advances, many people feel that, despite all the conveniences and facilities, something fundamental has been lost. Human interactions, which were once more personal and less mediated by technology, can now seem superficial or distant. The sense of community, once reinforced by more cohesive social structures, can seem fragmented in a world where relationships are often filtered through social media. Perhaps what many people miss when idealizing the past is the simplicity of a world where choices were less complex and the pace of life was slower. The constant rush, the demands of the job market, the expectation that we must always be available and productive. All of this creates a feeling of alienation, making the past, even if idealized, seem like a time of greater humanity. However, instead of being stuck in nostalgia, we can use this reflection to seek balance in the present, recognizing the value of aspects of the past, such as the importance of quality time with family, community interaction, and mindfulness in what we do, can help us find ways to live more fully in the modern world. The past does not need to be seen as an irreversibly lost era, but rather as a set of lessons that can guide us to live more consciously and harmoniously in the present. In summary, the idea that the past was better reveals a lot about our relationship with time, change, and our own expectations. The past, indeed, may have been better for some aspects and more difficult for others. But what really matters is how we learn to integrate these perceptions into a more balanced view of life. The present, with all its challenges, still offers opportunities for happiness, connection, and growth. By recognizing the value of what was, but also by opening ourselves to what is and what can be, we can find a wiser and more conscious path to navigate the time we are given.